Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined today with Frank Tropiano. Frank, we're looking at this Saturday night's main event. It's John Cena's farewell. We're finally here, the last date, the last match. John Cena's taking on Gunther. A lot of emotion, a lot of feeling right now. Frank, we'll start with you here. How are you feeling heading into Saturday?
I am feeling actually great headed into Saturday. And I just want to say I have put behind all of the negative feelings of this farewell tour, especially as these videos and everyone's tribute to John Cena has come out. It's for me been more about remembering like all the fun stuff and there's just a few images of him that are just like burned in my head. And so nothing that happened on this farewell tour is going to undo that. So I'm really excited for Saturday. Maybe we'll talk about a few of our favorite moments for John later as this episode, goes on. But I am in a really good place with this. I'm excited for Saturday, and let's just make sure that this is the proper send off that it needs to be.
I'm trying really hard. I'm trying really hard, and I know that I will eventually, but I'm trying really hard to look past this kind of disaster of a farewell tour, kind of disaster of a last year where expectations were sky high, and there were moments and events that made things happen that were really cool, but I think overwhelmingly it was pretty bad.
I would just never forgive myself if I was so jaded that I took year 24 and projected it on the entire career of John Cena, or year 25. I don't even know what year we're in. But to me, I am 29 years old. John Cena has been basically of my life of understanding things. John Cena has been there. So I can't sit there and just be negative. Like I said, there's like the video of him coming in one night stand, holding the title in his hands, with all the crowd booing him. There's the Royal Rumble return. There's my favorite entrance that he ever made, which is the one at WrestleMania with all the guys like doing the "You Can't See Me" thing. So many great moments when he wins the final, when he finally wins the title at WrestleMania, and he goes back into the crowd. So I've just been loving all of that stuff and loving all the memories. So look, he's the greatest of all time. I can't sour for Saturday. You know what I mean? Like I have to take it in for what it is.
No, it's a recency bias thing for me. Like I said, I know that when we are months, years down the road, I will look back and I will think very little about the last year because this last year is such a small pebble compared to his entire career, like you were alluding to. And I know that going in, but then I see Cena Gunther. It's not who I would have wanted. It's not who I would have wanted for his last match, but the grand scheme of things, I think you're kind of feeling the same way. It doesn't really matter who he's facing in this last match. That's not what it's about. But Cena and Gunther, of course, Gunther won the tournament, beat LA Knight in the finals. Do you think there's any chance John Cena wins this match?
Yeah. Yeah. I'd
Really?
say I'm about 50-50 right now. Gunther doesn't need the rub. He doesn't need the rub. That like it's plain and simple. It does it do something for him? Sure. Does it do what it would have done for most of the roster that isn't Cody, Roman, Punk, Drew? No, right? Like no. Like he doesn't need this. He's certainly not hurt by it. So can Cena win if they decide that they want to do that? Yeah, sure. It'd be a shock. There's rumors swirling about surprises that they have planned, and there's a certain superstar or megastar. I'm not talking about LA Knight, who is rumored to be around on Saturday. That I will not even say his name because I don't even want to give him the time of day at this point. But there's a lot of things that could happen,
Would
and I
that
do think
megastar be
him.
challenging him to a match at WrestleMania?
I just can't see that actually happening. Like they're making a big deal out of this, but I mean, listen, what do they say? Never say never in wrestling, right? Like this is the one place where that could happen, and I don't think it would be like, oh my God, he said last year was his last WrestleMania. How could he lie to the fan? Like I don't think anyone would feel that way. I think everyone would just be like, all right, if they did, he who must not be named versus John Cena at WrestleMania round three.
Thrice in a lifetime.
Thrice in a lifetime. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like they could do
Yeah,
it,
no, no one's gonna
and I don't
have
think
that kind of,
anybody.
no one's gonna have that negative feeling like, oh my gosh, he lied to us. He said this was it no matter what. I do think it is, unfortunately. I feel like how he's presenting himself on this media tour he's doing right now, he is holding true. He said, no one retires in wrestling. I am retiring. This will be my last match on Saturday. And part of me is frustrated by that because one, I didn't want to see him face Gunther last match, but besides that, John Cena's last match should not be at Saturday night's main event. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It does feel like a match befitting for WrestleMania, but you got to remember too, with his schedule and everything, he gave them from January to December. Like he said he wanted to do a full year, 200 and something dates, and I don't know if that's realistic, but I don't see why they couldn't use him on every Raw. I think again, that's more of them messing up the farewell tour, and I'll just leave it as it is. I don't have any more comments on that. Is it ridiculous to think that he could show up at WrestleMania and that be his final send off? No. Do I think it's going to happen? I'll give it like a 5 to 10% chance that that's actually going to happen. And I think 10 is insanely high. It's probably more like 0.1%.
Just the fact that John's last WrestleMania was so impactful because that was how he beat Cody. He won his 17th championship, but that was well regarded as one of the worst match. I don't want to say ever. I don't know if one of the worst matches ever is fair, but like it was a terrible match. Travis Scott came out there, not The Rock. Like it's a terrible lasting image of John's last WrestleMania. So the fact that they're doing this here and not at Mania, I just feel like that is one of the many, many things they've done wrong throughout this farewell tour. I feel bad for John. I feel bad for the whole situation. I know John is putting on the smile, the brave face. He's the company man. He says this is all great stuff, but I think he's got to feel a little bit slighted throughout this process where it just hasn't gone well.
Listen, he's the only superstar of this magnitude to win 17 world championships. All right. John Cena's had his day in the sun, then again, over again, over again, over again. He is, like they say, he's the greatest of all time. He goes out with the praise that every person who's ever laced up a pair of boots wants to. So, do I feel bad for John Cena? Maybe a little. Does John Cena feel bad for John Cena? I don't think in the slightest John Cena feels bad for John Cena. I think he's very happy with his career, and how could you not be? You know what I mean? Like yeah, could it have been better? But when he looks at this, he's gonna laugh and he's gonna be like, ah, yeah, we didn't do really the greatest. You know what I mean? Like he's a 17-time world champ, and I can't stress that enough. Like he's the greatest of all time, and I can't stress that enough. Like I
All of these accolades, all these achievements that you're listing off is why this should have been perfect. Is why
sure,
this should have been so carefully booked and so well put together where the heel turn, phenomenal. I don't even know how much we want to get into the actual heel turn, but unless, listen, and more frustrating, I know I told you this the other day. John did the interview the other day with Chris Van Vliet where Chris Van Vliet pushed him and said, what was the plan with The Rock? And John wouldn't talk about it at all. He just kept shutting it down. He said, who cares? We all care. We all want to know what the plan was. That was very important to the whole entire fan base for our hero to turn heel, to make this tremendous decision after 25 years of being the good guy. We all care. So unless it truly was they thought they had The Rock and they didn't actually have him for those available dates, then that's different. But if they went into that knowing they didn't have him, that's terrible.
yeah, I mean, listen, again, we can dwell on it all we want. It's happened, it's in the past, and until it's not in the past anymore, like I said, I'm just ready to put it away. And it sounds to me, like I said, John has made peace with the fact that maybe it wasn't what he thought it was gonna be. And that he's gonna go out Saturday night. And you know what? Gunther and him are gonna put on a hell of a match. I am very confident. And whether he wins or loses, he's gonna go out as the 17-time world champ and the greatest of all time. And like I said, like look, we could sit here and we could rehash everything that happened on the farewell tour. Actually, we could make it probably 3 episodes, everything that happened on the farewell tour and everything that maybe we didn't like or liked. And there were some positives. Like I don't think it was the worst run in the history of wrestling. You know what I mean? You're right. It was unbefitting for him, and that is where it's upsetting. But again, I can't stress enough how many great John Cena memories are. Nothing that happened this year was ever going to undo his legacy, and it didn't. And he could tap out to Gunther in 3 minutes on Saturday. He won't. I'm confident he won't. But if he taps out to Gunther in 3 minutes on Saturday, it won't ruin his legacy. You know what I mean? He'll go out the 17-time world champion, greatest of all time. I said you'll get there with me. I know it.
No, like I said, like once I'm more removed, I will. I'm upset. I know we're going in circles. Like I don't want to dwell on this. You're saying you're looking past the you're
Listen, it's fair. Like I'm not saying you have no right to be angry or upset. I'm doing what I've done my entire life, and I'm following John's lead because he doesn't seem upset. He seems, and I'm sure he's thrilled it's over. Honestly, like I'm sure he's thrilled. He has no obligation to put his body on on the line anymore. He could do his Hollywood thing. Like I can't imagine him being anything but very proud of what he's done in the WWE. You know what I mean? No matter what the last year looked like I can't imagine like he goes home and he looks at the 17 world championships that are hanging up on the wall, and like nobody else does that ever in the history of anything, you know? I mean, maybe not anything, but in the history of wrestling of his magnitude.
We never got the Roman. We never got the Drew McIntyre. We got R-Truth 3 times. We got Logan Paul a couple times. We got it's frustrating. The face turn was terrible. Like you would have thought it'd be like this amazing, incredible moment.
You know what? But even like with the face turn led to a top three John Cena match of all time.
The
That
match
Cody
was
John match
phenomenal. The
was
SummerSlam
phenomenal.
match with
We
Cody
were
was
waiting
phenomenal.
for Cody to turn heel, and by the end of it, we didn't even care like that nothing happened because the match was so good. Like that's how good of a match he put on. I hate the Brock thing. I think that bugged me more than anything else that happened on this tour, besides for maybe again, he who must not be named, not showing up ever again after him and Travis Scott, went out there at the Elimination Chamber. But I think those are the only two things where I'm like, you know what, that was sour. They should have done better with that. I'm past it. I'm past the retirement tour, and I'm ready for Saturday, and I'm ready to write off the goat, and I'm ready to watch him run in one more time, and Bug Stew and his son, and I'm just ready for the whole thing, you know.
I applaud you. I truly applaud you because like I said, I'm upset with myself that I'm looking back and being like, wow, this last year was pretty bad with the exception of a few moments. Like two specific matches were great. I think the match with Cody at SummerSlam and the match with AJ Styles, those were both great matches. Besides that, the rest of the matches were, and then I think the Logan Paul match was pretty good too. The rest of the matches themselves were fine. They're what you expect from Cena at age 48, whatever it might be. But they were just, like I said, I don't want to keep harping on the same thing,
Listen,
but
I will leave it here with one of the things that you always say to me, right? And when we talk about sports, right? You always say that just because a team didn't win the championship doesn't necessarily mean they had a bad season, right?
just scripted.
John won the championship 17 times and had he got old and had a bad last season.
But I'm not writing the way that the Knicks and the Mets are going to play.
Right. No, I get that and I understand it, but it holds true. Don't let a okay bad-ish kind of end ruin just your opinion on what was a wonderful, part of
And I
your
won't.
entire life.
Once we get removed from this situation, I will try to forget about the farewell tour and I will appreciate John Cena for what he is, which is the greatest of all time. Frank, the match itself, Cena versus Gunther. I know you said it's kind of 50-50 right now. Give me who you think wins. Give me the finish.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta lean Gunther, and right now you throw that tease that John's gonna tap out. Give me Gunther with John tapping out. But here's the thing: now that I'm like actually
I
saying
would
it out
hate
loud,
that so
if he
much.
passes out, I think it's just better, right? Like if he just passes out. But then does he come to and cut a promo like Goldberg style? Like I don't know. It's weird. Maybe he just wins. As I'm like talking through it, I'm like, how do we do this? Like how do we do? Because yes, are you supposed to lose? Yes, you are supposed to lose, and I have no problem with him doing the job to Gunther on the way out. By the way, like if that's the end, nobody can be angry, right? Because like that's what you do in wrestling. And John's said he respects the whole process of wrestling and everything. Like if that's what they decide to do, then that's what they decide to do. But it's just gonna be weird. Is he gonna because he's got to get choked out, and if he gets choked out, is he gonna get up and then cut a promo? I don't know.
I mean, it'll probably be like 3 minutes of him like trying to catch his breath, and like the crowd will just be chanting "Thank you, Cena," and he'll eventually grab a mic. It will be weird. I think if you want to give Gunther the ultimate rub, which is why you have him in this match, you do have John Tap versus passing out. Passing out was the ultimate face move where I don't think we have to protect John on the way out here. If John's done, I think we can just go ahead and give this final real rub to Gunther, which, like I said, I don't think he needs, but we're in this spot now. So we should do our best to make Gunther look as strong and as impressive as possible. So I agree. I think Gunther is going to tap out Cena. We're going to run down the rest of this card here before closing with some John stuff again. Cody Rhodes, Obafemi. I'm going to go first here. I think Obafemi wins this match. I think There's no point to have this match if Cody's going to win. I think there could be shenanigans. We could have Drew come out there and claim more Cody, distract the ref, whatever it might be. But I think Obafemi wins this match.
I don't hate it, but I am picking Cody Rhodes. You're right. It could be a situation where Cody gets distracted. He's not losing clean. Like, let's just be honest, right? Cody's not losing clean. It would have to be like something that you said. I would love to see Oba win, but I'm just gonna go with Cody. I think you're gonna give him a great match, and there's gonna be a handshake after.
That's a possibility as well, but you have an opportunity here. This is the first exposure of Obafemi to pretty much the entire WWE universe. Everyone's going to watch on Saturday night for John, and they're going to see, oh, Cody Rhodes is fighting this big NXT guy. Let's see what happens. Like, I think you have an opportunity here to make a star, and I really hope they don't drop the ball. It's definitely possible that they have a 20-minute classic and Cody wins at the end. They shake hands for sure. That's probably the alternative route here to Oba winning, but I really hope Oba just wins the match.
Yeah, no, it would definitely be cool. I don't think he gets hurt in a loss here. You know, Cody obviously doesn't get hurt in a loss because, like I said, there's no way Oba's winning clean. Like I'd be shocked if that happened. Cody just doesn't lose. Like we've been begging for McIntyre to take the title off of Cody. Now we're and again
I think they're still
NXT.
feuding though. I think they're still in this active feud somehow.
And do you believe that McIntyre is going to win the title?
No, he's not going to win the title, but I think he
Then you
cost
know.
him this match against Oba
No, you're
Fett.
right. No, I'm not saying that part. I'm saying like Cody just doesn't lose. Like he can't lose to Drew McIntyre, and like all due respect to Obafemi, you're not Drew McIntyre yet. You know what I mean? Like
No, at this point, almost certainly Cody's walking to Mania to face Roman Reigns with that title. All right, we have a tag team match: AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. I know both of Javon Evans and Leon Slater are phenomenal. One is Leon Slater's in TNA. Javon Evans is the rising star in NXT. This should be great. Should be a really fun tag team match.
yeah, you got four good competitors. This one I will take Team NXT. And I'm going to say that because I think NXT needs a win somewhere on this card, and there's two places that I can put it off the top of my head, and this is one of them. So I'm going to take Team NXT here.
Bailey doesn't even kind of need a win ever.
Soul Ruka, that Soul Snatcher is going to hit like crack.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to say that?
that's
That
fine.
Soul Snatcher is going to hit, and the whole crowd is going to lose it. I think she's going to win. Yeah.
I'll take AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to actually win that tag team match, and that will be a real bro out after. Everyone's just hugging, everyone loves each other, but AJ Styles probably gets the pin there, and it's cool. I know the two of them, they're like 20 years old, both of them. And Javon Evans and Leon Slater are both like 22 years old. So like they grew up watching AJ because AJ's almost 50 now, which is pretty crazy and really cool for those guys. So I will take AJ Styles and Dragon Lee to win that match. And then I just talked about Bailey and Sol Ruka. I'll take Sol Ruka there. She'll be my one NXT or my two NXT victories with Obafemi for the night. So one thing about this match here, I know Bailey's awesome. We love Bailey. Why is she in this spot?
It's a valid question. I think she's just a lock. I think she is just the locker room veteran. Like the way they talk about Natalia, that's actually Bailey. Like that's what it seems like. She seems just like the locker room person in the company. They all love her. Like the veterans love her. The younger girls who just started on the main roster love her. So I think she's just
I feel like
person
they've had
for.
absolutely nothing for her creative wise for like 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's always going to be important to a certain level. Like she can't get hurt in ways that's going to ever diminish her character so much. But look, there's arguments to be made that should have been Charlotte. There's
I was gonna
arguments to
say,
be
is it fair to say that I can name seven other women that should probably be in this spot?
So I think it is a little unfair, and I'll tell you why. This needs to be a WWE veteran. Like this needs to be a veteran. So you're talking about Nia Jax, who I don't think works for this kind of match. You're talking about Charlotte and Becky, who sure, and then I think you're talking about Alexa Bliss
Yep.
and
Liv Morgan.
even Liv. Yeah, I mean, like she's been up for a long time. Yeah, Liv Morgan works, but like Raquel, Roxanne, even Tiffany, like
No, they just
they've been on
came
NXT
from
like
NXT.
recently. So
Yeah.
we don't. Yeah, yeah,
So maybe five women. But
yeah.
like I said, I don't want to discredit Bailey. I think she's awesome. I hope they come up with a good story. They were temporarily doing some weird, like she was going crazy storyline. They kind of dropped that, but then it like resurfaces every now and then. She's tagging with Lyra. I want direction for her. I love Bailey, but right now she's kind of just floating in no man's land, and I expect Sol Ruka to win this match.
Here's how good the women's tag team division is right now. The women's tag team division is the best division in wrestling right now. I don't think that's an understatement. There are so many great women's tag team matches. Right now, the women's tag team division should headline a night at WrestleMania. And I'm not even kidding. Like if you're gonna pour that much talent into a division, like I'm excited. Rhea and Io, Charlotte and Alexa,
The
like
problem is, by the time Mania comes around, a lot of these teams will not be.
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But I'm saying as it stands right now, that is easily the best thing going on in WWE right now. They deserve their flowers and Bailey is a huge part of that. Like she makes that division even more relevant than it already is. Nia Jax again, teaming with these younger people to make those teams matter. So I have no problem with Bailey getting this spot. But yeah, Charlotte would have been cool. I actually only think that of the people, just because of Becky's gimmick right now, that I don't think like it would just fit well with this. I think of all of them, Charlotte and Alexa are the only two that I would say maybe over Bailey. But I don't even think it's fair to put Alexa over Bailey. I think they're pretty much on the same level. So
You're taking Bailey or Sol Ruka here?
I'm gonna take Sol Ruka.
Okay. All right, so that's the card. It's pretty small right now. Maybe they had a match on SmackDown. We'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about favorite John Cena moment. We're closing out here. Frank, you go first here. What is your favorite John Cena moment?
Okay, I know we've talked about this before. Mine is a cliche moment, but I was in the building. I was in the building at the 2006 Royal Rumble when John Cena returned, and kayfabe baby me did not know that John Cena was going to be on the mend and at this event. I had no clue. Like it was a genuine shock. Awesome. I was right under the WrestleMania sign. John Cena pointed to me after that match. Like it's awesome. It'll obviously be my everlasting memory of him, just seeing him run through the curtain, have a face off with Triple H. Triple H just looking so just annoyed that John Cena was in that Royal Rumble. He did a great job. But yeah, it's that 2006 Royal Rumble for me for sure.
I've been thinking about this one. It's very hard. It's very hard to come up with one moment, but the Money in the Bank after Roman Reigns retained and Cena's music hit, like that was one of the biggest like times I ever popped. And that was pretty recent. That's why I'm trying, I think that was like 2022-ish. That was a pretty tremendous moment. That was during Roman's crazy run where like it seemed like every time he would win the match, someone new would come out at the end and be his next challenger. But when it was Cena, I think Cole and McAfee really sold it like crazy. The crowd lost their minds and John went on to lose that match against Roman. But that moment where he did return, I really felt something that time. So I think it's that, but it's so hard to say over the, like you said, 25-year career and so many great wins. I know One Night Stand, he lost to Rob Van Dam, but I feel like that's another night where like you really think about John Cena like a lot, even though he didn't win that match. So I'll say the return though, when he faced off with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are memories of John Cena of him not even winning. Like Elimination Chamber, when he survives a chamber and then Edge comes out and cashes in. Like that's a great memory. And like John's got to fight an hour in the chamber to make that memory. You know what I mean? John's got to be a bloody mess. One Night Stand, you said him just coming out in the crowd and the crowd just booing him, like just an iconic thing. And then, like I said, I love that WrestleMania entrance where they had all the Cena clones lined up, and they're all just doing the "You Can't See Me." Great stuff. We're gonna miss him. I can't believe he's actually gone, and also I do believe that he's actually gone. It's like a weird in between right now.
Your favorite rival of John Cena's?
This one's really tough, like really,
I
really
think
hard.
there's like three possibilities.
Yeah, yeah. I would say my favorite rival for John Cena was Edge. And I say that because again, that was like I loved Raw as a kid and hated SmackDown. So John finally came. I don't know why I hated SmackDown. Like it didn't make any sense. I watched it every week. I don't know why I hated it. But John finally came over to Raw, and that was like one of his first really big feuds on Raw. Like that was he was the face of the company. And I think it also helped to elevate Edge to what he became too. So that's awesome. The other two guys that you're going to talk about, or one of the other two guys that you're going to talk about, didn't need John Cena to elevate them. So I love the fact that another guy got put over in that too and got to like be within John's greatness there.
For sure. So it's CM Punk for me. I absolutely love the Punk feud. Of course, Punk came back, cult of personality, held the belt up after that incredible moment at Money in the Bank in Chicago when he left with the title, where that was another like legitimate shock moment where I remember at that point, like, I think we were like teenagers. We weren't like young during that phase, but like nothing was, it wasn't as transparent as it is now. So like seeing that happen, seeing Punk leave with the title when like they were talked about how this was his last night with the company, he was a free agent, and the way that they played it up on like WWE.com, like it was like well known that like he was leaving the company. So like the fact that he won that match was like tremendous. The feud was always so good between the two of them. I know recently John called Punk his wrestling soulmate. They had a really fun run here too this last year. I think that was one of the few highlights for me. They had the Punk did the Thugonomics where he dressed up and did the whole thing, and Cena did the pipe bomb, and it was really good. And of course, the famous pipe bomb was CM Punk cutting it on John Cena. So there was so much going on there. And also, this means neither of us are saying Randy Orton, which is kind of a shame,
That's crazy, right? Like that's crazy.
but I think Edge and Punk are ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think if we had our friend the heel here right now, I know he'd say The Rock. Like I know he would say The Rock because of how big that those matches are. You talk about the Miz, who's just been a thorn in Cena's side. You talk about guys like Bray Wyatt and Rusev, who he had great matches with. How about Kevin Owens, who he had a phenomenal feud? Like there are so many. Like John made everyone a great villain.
Yeah.
Like that is one of he made everyone a great villain. Like he won so frequently and was so able to sell you that this big bad can beat him like nobody else in the history. Like a guy that wins that much, like we're saying it about Cody, like oh this guy just never loses, right? Like I've never said that about John Cena, and it's true he never lost, but like I never said that about John Cena, and part of it was like not understanding everything, I'm
Yeah.
sure, because that's why he got booed, right? But I don't know. John just was so good. He made so many great heels even better just by having a feud with him.
All right, we're gonna close out here, Frank. I'm gonna ask you three questions. It's pretty much yes or no. One, is Saturday his last match?
Yes.
Do we see the final boss, The Rock?
No.
And our last question here, there are rumors swirling around. Do you think Vince McMahon is on WWE television? Do you think they show him on camera?
I think he does get in attendance. I don't think they show him on camera.
Okay, so he's in the building, he's not acknowledged.
In the building, not they're not acknowledging him. If they do, like if they were to maybe do it, I don't think it would be a big deal. It would be like one of those celebrity things like oh, there's
I wonder if John like hugs him if he's like close to ringside.
where are they? Washington? Like, oh, there's Alexander Ovechkin and the rest of the Capitals. And oh, there's previous owner of the WWE, Vince McMahon. Like, and yeah, maybe John's like high fiving people and like he'll have like an embrace with it. But it's not. I don't think that they're gonna make a big deal that he's there, like a really big stink of it that he's there.
All right, anything else for us, Frank?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think the final boss shows up?
I mean, I've been wrong so many times. What's one more time? So yeah, I'll say yes.
All
I'll
right,
say
final boss shows up. Do you think that this is his last match?
yeah, I think this is his last match, but I think The Rock will go out there, do something just to make us all angry and like shake his hand. Or like at this point, stay as far away from this as possible, but I don't think he's capable of that. So I think he'll be there. I think he'll shake John's hand, make the moment about him a little bit, and not get any kind of closure or match.
Okay, sounds good. Either way, no matter what happens, thank you, John Cena, for my entire childhood. You were an awesome, awesome person, and I appreciate everything.
And that will do it. Like Frank said, thank you, Cena. Let's enjoy Saturday. Hopefully, it's a fun, emotional night. Thanks for watching.